First off, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited that you all have decided to take an hour or so out of your evening to learn a little bit about our BFA and our BA programs that we have within musical theater and acting. It sounds like many of you are interested in one of those two programs, and so we're excited to have you here so we can talk through some details with our processes here at Columbia College Chicago. To start off with, my name is Derek Brinkley. I am the Assistant Vice President of Undergraduate Admissions here at Columbia College Chicago. I've been at Columbia now for 3.5 years. I love this institution. It's really a fantastic place to work. It's a fantastic place for students to learn, all within a fantastic city. And so we are excited that you all are considering Columbia College Chicago as your college of choice for next year, potentially the year after, whatever it is that you are looking at. A little about myself: I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I lived in Cincinnati for about 10 years, and then I moved to Chicago 6 years ago? It's just over 6 years ago. Maybe today's my 6-year anniversary, maybe even. It's about this time of the year. So love being in Chicago, very much enjoying my time here, and again, enjoying my time at Columbia. I grew up as a musical theater kid, right? So I was a dancer, tap dancer, trained gymnast, did musical theater, did acting, all of that kind of stuff throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, and choreographed afterwards. So I am very much like many of you with kind of this background in the theater world. And so I am particularly excited to be with this crew here this evening. I've got two fantastic human beings with me this evening, and I'm going to have both Brian and Jermaine introduce themselves. They are faculty here at Columbia College Chicago. Brian, do you want to start us off with a nice introduction?
Yeah, sure. A nice introduction. I think I can handle it. So yeah, my name is Brian Shaw. I'm a professor in the theater department. I teach acting. I'm the coordinator of the acting and the BFA in acting. I also coordinate our international exchange programs. And I do quite a lot of work with community arts programs in the city of Chicago as well. I actually grew up in Canada, and I moved here when I was about 20. I have 3 children. Actually, one of them just graduated college last May, a COVID graduate. And then I have 2 who are twins who are in their senior year in university right now. So I sort of like, your generation is like, y'all are my kids. So so I sort of know what some of you are going through. I'm an actor and a director. I've done, 100 plus plays as an actor or director. I've done 30 or 40 or 50 movies, TV things, commercials, voiceovers, whatever. So I work in the business a lot, actually. In fact, I'm directing a very short film right now. Sunday night, I'll be shooting a film at a COVID-safe set. And I have a voiceover or a couple of podcasts out. And anyway, so yeah, I'm like, try to stay busy in the industry as much as I possibly can. Yeah, so that's my nice introduction.
Thanks for doing a nice intro, Brian. We appreciate you. Jermaine, do you want to share with the folks a little bit about yourself?
I will. Hi, everyone. But I'm first going to share 2 things about Brian that I hope he's okay with me sharing.
Oh, no.
Brian Shaw is, in fact, a Columbia College graduate.
I am. 1986.
Valedictorian of
1986. That's the year I was born, Brian. Not to make you feel any sort of way, but
he speaks of his wonderful children, but indeed his fantastic wife Stephanie Shaw, who we teach with. He met at Columbia, so long connection and a rich connection with Brian in Columbia College Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian's just a great guy.
True.
As is Steph. Hi, my name is Jermaine Hill. I'm from New York City originally. I'm an assistant professor of theater and the coordinator of musical theater. I teach primarily in the musical theater area. I'm a music director both on campus and off. I sort of work in our storefront theater community and some of our larger commercial houses as well. Including a contract that just came in today that is going to happen in the spring. It's a very exciting project at Steppenwolf. And Yeah, let's see. From New York City originally. I've been in Chicago on and off for about 10 years. On now for, this is my 6th year.
Twinsies.
Yes, indeed, yes. And my 4th year at Columbia College. I, with Brian, was represented, or am represented by a great talent group, so try to keep a little active as an actor and a director from time to time as well. I love Columbia College Chicago and our fantastic faculty and our students and the ethos that we have in our theater department. So I'm excited to be with Derek and Brian today to share a little bit about our programs and to answer any questions you might have about what makes Columbia College Chicago unique among the other colleges and universities you might be looking at.
Absolutely. And I saw Jermaine Hill in Sophisticated Ladies at the Porchlight Theater last year, and it was fantastic. Was that last year? It feels like a long time ago.
That was January, February, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I guess it feels like it's been a whole year since January or February, so that's where we are.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, thanking Jermaine and Brian for being here this evening, and again, thanking all of you for being here this evening. We have a couple of presentations we're going to go through. We should have plenty of time for questions towards the end. As you have questions, there is the chat feature in Zoom, and so feel free to put any questions there. Again, Brian and Jermaine really going to address, probably through their presentation, most of your questions, but again, we will have time for questions, particularly as it regards to the program and also as it relates to Columbia College Chicago in general. You know, we will have hopefully some time for questions there. We won't have time to dig as much into specifics with Columbia as maybe folks are expecting or wanting this evening, but we have a whole slew of virtual events that are going on a regular basis through the admissions office. You can sign up for any of our virtual events at colum.edu/virtual. So if you want to do a virtual tour, you want to do a one-on-one appointment with your admission representative, you want to do a virtual information session, we have some virtual student panels. So there's a lot of options that we are having at this point in time in the virtual realm for you all to get your questions answered about Columbia. So with that being said, I am going to, as everyone says, share my screen. So you all can see, and we're going to just go through, again, just some basic information to start about Columbia College Chicago. We're going to dig into the application process itself. I want to make sure that that's relatively clear for folks, and then we'll allow Brian and Jermaine to go into details about the acting and the musical theater programs that we have, okay? So Columbia College Chicago, we are located obviously in Chicago, Illinois, and we are a college for creatives. So all of the programs that we offer at Columbia College Chicago are focused around the creative arts, whether it be audio, sound, theater and performing arts, whether that be visual arts, whether that be the media arts, the digital arts, communication and writing and business. Those are the types of programs that we offer for our students at Columbia College Chicago. We want to make sure that you have a strong liberal arts core curriculum, right? So we're going to make sure that you are taking classes in the humanities, in writing, in math, in science. The core humanities is still very core to who we are as an institution. Okay, you have to take the core curriculum here at Columbia in order to make sure that you really leave the institution knowing how to think critically, knowing how to communicate effectively, and knowing how to write properly. We think that those skill sets are going to serve you really well in your future, regardless of what industry you end up landing in once you're done with your time at Columbia College Chicago, right? So that core is very important. A third of the classes you take at Columbia will be within the core curriculum. About a third, if you do a BA track program, is going to be within your major, whether that be acting or musical theater or music business or fine arts or game design, whatever it is that you end up applying to the institution. If you do our BA program, the second third is going to be within that program itself. The last third, of your curriculum at Columbia College Chicago will roughly be in elective credits, right? So that is an opportunity for you to pick up another minor. It could be an opportunity for you to try to double major. Maybe you're going to take classes outside of your discipline into other areas of the college. So we kind of split up the curriculum in that way here at the college. Now, for students who are considering going into our BFA or our B-Muse programs that we have at Columbia, think about it this way. A third are going to be within the core. The remaining 2/3 are going to be within your major, right? So there's not as much flexibility in our BFA programs in order for students to pick up a minor, a double major, doing classes outside of your curriculum. And again, we're going to dig a little bit more into the details of that here in just a few. So what do students experience at Columbia? They experience hands-on learning from the very first day. We really want to make sure that students are having those opportunities to learn with their professors, with their classmates. Obviously, in the age of COVID, a little different right now, but the core of really what we want to do is we want to make sure that you are getting that hands-on experience. A big part of what we do at Columbia is networking and career preparation. We want to make sure that you are prepared to go into whatever industry it is that you want to go into once you're done here at the institution. You're going to network not only with other Columbia students, but you're going to network with alumni from Columbia. You're going to network with your faculty. You heard Brian and Jermaine talk about their background and what it is that they are also doing here in the city of Chicago as well. They might pull you in to be involved in a project that they have going on, right? So those are the kind of opportunities you're going to see. Obviously, a rigorous liberal arts curriculum, right? So making sure that you have that liberal arts core kind of set. And then collaboration across disciplines here at the college is something that we are well known for as well. So that's a little bit of basic information about Columbia College Chicago. So I want to really kind of talk about the application process with a show of hands. How many students have started their application to Columbia? All right, oh my goodness. Everyone on my screen that I see have all raised their hand, and some other folks, so that is amazing. We're so glad that you all have started your application. So we start accepting applications, as the slide says, in August. This year is early September when we started that, and we'll start releasing admission decisions starting in late October or early November, and they will go out on a rolling basis after that, okay? Thing to keep in mind, if you are applying for any of our BFA programs, so that includes the acting BFA program and the musical theater performance BFA program, you're going to get an admission decision to the college first. So you'll find out whether you are admitted. So Abby, Dylan, Carolyn, Grant, you'll get that decision saying, yes, I've been admitted to Columbia College Chicago. Then you're going to get a separate decision for your BFA program itself. Okay, so when you are admitted to the college, right off the bat, you will have a spot in our BA program for whichever program you apply for, right? So if you're a student applying for the BFA in musical theater, you're going to get a decision saying you've been admitted into Columbia College Chicago and that you have a spot in the BA program in musical theater. And then you're going to go through the selective process to then try to gain entry into the BFA program in musical theater. And the same applies for acting, right? So all students will have a spot in the BA program of your choice, and then you'll go through that selective process and you'll hopefully gain admission into the BFA program of your choice, okay? And we're gonna talk a little bit about kind of those timelines here. I think it's here in a second, and it'll give some context as well. So if a student applies for a BA or a BS program here at the institution, you do not have to submit any additional materials in order to apply for those BA programs. And the students who apply for a BA or a BS program can be considered for something that we have at Columbia called the Faculty Recognition Award. The Faculty Recognition Award is a scholarship worth up to $5,000 on top of your merit-based scholarships that you will be considered for just by applying to the college. So just by applying to Columbia, you're going to be considered for a merit-based scholarship up to $15,000 for the year. Just by filing the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, you will be considered for need-based scholarships from the college up to $6,000 per year. And every student receives one of those need-based scholarships. So a lot of families will say, well, I'm not going to file the FAFSA because we make too much money. I always tell families, file the FAFSA because we're going to use a different threshold at Columbia, and you will get something from us just by filing the FAFSA. And then the third scholarship is that Faculty Recognition Award, which is a talent-based scholarship that we have here at the college. And those three programs are all stackable. So they will all stack on top of each other, given what it is that you end up receiving from us at Columbia. So if you apply for a BA program, you don't have to submit materials for your application, but you can submit a portfolio to be considered for the Faculty Recognition Award. If you are applying, as many of you here probably are, applying for our BFA program, and whether it be acting or musical theater performance, there are additional materials that are required as a part of the application process itself, right, in order to be considered for those BFA programs. And as a part of that, you will automatically be considered for the Faculty Recognition Award based on your audition. Okay, so there's nothing else that you have to do since you are already applying for a BFA program. Okay, there are links there at the bottom of that particular slide, colum.edu/FRA, that stands for the Faculty Recognition Award. That's for students who are applying for our BA track programs. For those that are applying for our BFA track programs, colum.edu/BFA is where you can find out all of the details about the way that the process itself is set up. A couple of things, let me make sure, because it's not on, nope, it's not on this slide, so let's go back one more slide. A couple of things about the acting and the BFA process this year, okay? A couple of key deadlines that I want you to have in the back of your head. First one is December 1st. December 1st is the deadline in which that you have to submit your application to Columbia. Please make sure that you, on your application, say that you are interested in the BFA program in acting, musical theater performance, what have you, okay? You have to submit that by December 1. You have to submit your application materials also by December 1, so that includes your high school transcript. If you are a transfer student, that includes your college transcripts. As a part of the application, there's going to be an essay, a short answer, those kind of things, so all of that needs to be in by December 1. And then your pre-screening materials also must be submitted by December 1 as well. If you go to that website, colum.edu/BFA, you are going to find all of the requirements for those pre-screening materials listed on that website. Okay, so you can go there, take a look at it. Typically, I think for acting, it's a couple of monologues that Brian's asking for, along with a headshot and a short writing prompt as well. For musical theater, very similar. I think it's 2 songs, a dance, a headshot, and then a short answer as well. So those are the things that you have to do as a part of the pre-screening process, okay? What our faculty will do is between December 1 and mid-January, they are going to review all of your pre-screening materials. And then by mid-January, we will invite students who are selected to come on campus, maybe. That's a maybe right now. We might have on-campus auditions, we may not. So bear with us, we'll figure that piece of it out. But we will invite you to audition formally for a spot in the BFA programs. Okay, so what's the big deadline you need to pay attention to? December 1. Get your things in, okay? If you don't get them in by December 1, you may not be in the running for that BFA program of your choice. So you wanna make sure, and it's great that all of you are here. It's September 23rd. You've got plenty of time to really work on your pre-screening videos and your materials to make sure that those are turned in. Okay, you will be submitting those materials via something called your Columbia Connect portal. And that on the PowerPoint should say colum.edu/connect, not .connect, sorry. So that's a /connect. And that is where you will actually, again, upload your pre-screening materials so that we have those and so that our faculty can do their review. And again, by mid-January, we will let you know whether you are invited to audition for one of those BFA programs, or if you are going to just maintain a spot in the BA program. right? So if you're not invited to interview, you still have a spot in the BA program of your choice, okay? Any questions? I do want to maybe take a moment and open up for questions. Any questions specifically about the actual application process to the program? And see if anything. Oh, Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi. This might have already been said. I might not have, I don't know, I might have just not heard this.
That's okay.
But how, crap, I'm forgetting. How long does the pre-screening thing need to be? Like,
yeah, that's a really great question. My biggest recommendation for you, Dylan, is to go to that colum.edu/BFA website, and it's going to lay out every single requirement for those videos, right? So if you eventually bring it up, it should tell you, and I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. Jermaine or Brian, I don't know if you know your criteria off the top of your head.
I do. For the BFA musical theater performance, it is 2 contrasting 60-second song selections, 1 monologue not from a film or TV, less than 90 seconds, a 90-second dance video that shows your comfortability of your dance expression. So it doesn't need to be musical theater dance. It could be any dance expression of your own choosing. A written sample that asks you to talk about why you're interested in studying musical theater performance, specifically at Columbia College, Chicago. And finally, we're asking for a wildcard video. So if there's something that you do that is artistically interesting, are you a actor musician? Do you juggle? Are you a flamethrower? I don't know. Show us something interesting about your artistic expression that will help us sort of get a sense of what our incoming first-year cohort will bring to the table and how they'll interact with each other.
What was the one thing before the wild card again? Sorry, I'm writing this down.
Dance. Is that the dance? I think
the dance video and the written sample that talks about why you want to study musical theater performance specifically at Columbia College, Chicago.
And again, we'll lay all of that out on that BFA website. So when you go there, you'll click on musical theater performance and it kind of drops into an accordion, and it should lay all of those requirements out for you on that website.
Amazing.
So Brian,
thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question, Dylan. Brian, do you know the criteria for what you're doing for pre-screenings off the top of your head?
More or less. So yeah, two monologues. Contrasting can be your definition of contrasting. It does not have to be, you know, quote unquote, a classical monologue and a contemporary or a comedic or a dramatic, right? Like you can sort of decide what you think are contrasting for you as a performer. 3 to 4 minutes total for those 2 monologues. Resume and headshot. And yes, the writing sample is actually important. The reason, again, as Jermaine says, why you're interested in studying at Columbia College, and because the BFA in acting actually has, we strongly encourage students to take part in our international exchange programs, to really think about what theater, you know, why you're interested in theater as an art form within the world, not just me as an actor. So we are definitely interested in your perspective on the art form as it may play out in various parts of the world, as you may hope it plays out, right, in the future in various parts of the world, and not so much. I mean, yes, certainly, yes, I would like to be a lovely and talented, a fine performer and fine actor, but the purpose for your work in the world is important. There are a few questions in the chat. Shall I?
Yeah. Let's actually dig into a few of them. How many
students do you accept into the BFA MT?
The goal is, Derek, the goal is 12 to 14 in any year. And that's because we really want to make sure that we can give the individualized attention that we believe that the BFA musical theater performance students need. So 12 to 14 is sort of the goal.
Yeah, and we're 12 to 16. We'll go a couple people, but for exactly the same reason. Do you need to apply to both programs separately? I would say yes.
And here's the deal with that. If you're interested in both acting and musical theater for the BFA, you really can only, on the application for admission, you can only apply for one. So you got to pick one on the application, right? Now, say that you're a student who really wants to do both of them. You feel very strongly about both of them. It could be that the BA track might be a better route for you potentially than the BFA track. And again, we're going to talk a little bit about the differences between those programs. I think that there's a little bit of a, and I don't even want to say misconception, but I think that a lot of folks think that the BFA is the better program to do, right? And the way that I really try to frame it for students is it's all about how you want to spend your time at Columbia. If you are a student, and I know that there was a question here from Allie, when you can sign up for a double major or minor. If you're a student who's interested in a double major or a minor, you might want to consider the BA program instead of the BFA program, right? Think about it, like I talked about earlier. If you're a BA student, a third of your classes are core, a third are your major, a third are electives. If you're a BFA student, a third are core, the last 2/3 are your major, right? So it really depends on how you, as a student, as a performer, as an actor, as a musical theater person, it really depends on how you want to spend your time at Columbia. I always try to use the word breadth versus depth, right? If you're someone who wants to get down and dirty into it and all you want to do is spend time in acting or musical theater performance, you might want to apply for that BFA program. If you're someone who wants to have more of that breadth and get that musical theater or that acting experience, but also maybe take photography courses or business courses or those kind of things, you might want to consider the BA program. There really isn't a right or wrong way necessarily to go about this. And most of our students at Columbia are BA track students anyway. Okay, so it's something I want to make sure that is pretty clear for folks. Can we complete the application on the Common App and complete the extra materials on the Columbia Connect portal? Yes, you may. So if you're applying via the Common App, you'll submit your Common application and then you will get login information from us regarding the Columbia Connect portal. So we'll send that out to you.
Right. How should we frame our pre-screen? I'll deal with that. I think you should try to make yourself like this big in your audition thing and see. We don't have any specific, you're right, it does not say on the website. Maybe it should. But I would say, you might shoot one, my cat is with me. You might shoot one close up and one in a medium. I would not shoot full body necessarily. There's no reason for that. We just want to see you and hear you.
And we get those questions all the time. Here, and for us in the admissions office, here's what we always say. What does the website say? Whatever the website says, that's what I want you to do. Because that website language has been approved by our faculty. Right? They've told us what to put on the website. So if the website doesn't say close up, medium, or far, you might take a little bit and use your brain. Think critically about kind of what makes sense. You don't want it to be full body, completely far away where they can't see you. You want them to be able to see your expressions and what you're doing. So, so follow the website. What the website says typically is going to be what you should be doing. Okay, so that's kind of my little tip from folks. If auditions do end up being in person, will there still be an option for a virtual audition? That answer is yes. So even if we have in-person audition days, we are also planning virtual audition days too. Okay, so you would be able to choose whether to come to an in-person or a virtual audition day, or if we go completely virtual, you will all come to a virtual audition day. Okay, so more details will come on that. We talked about double majoring and double minoring. How long should the wildcard video be? Did you put a time limit on that, Jermaine?
I think we said 90 seconds.
All right, I like that.
10 seconds, 2 minutes maybe.
That sounds good. How many, out of how many applicants? So let's kind of talk about that. And I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head. However, I can tell you that last year for both the BFA in acting and the BFA in musical theater performance, we did have hundreds of applicants for each program. It's a competitive program, okay? We are not admitting everyone to the program. And again, if you don't get admitted to the BFA program of your choice, you have a spot in the BA program. Okay, and that kind of gets to the next question from Sarah Kate. How many BA students are accepted for either program? Because there's no acceptance requirements for the BA program, it is open to anyone and everyone that wants to be a part of Okay, so there's no limited number of spots on the BA program. There's only those limited number of spots for the BFA programs. Okay. For the dance video from Jodine, to be able to show 2 different styles, can we submit 2 videos totaling no more than 90 seconds?
I think so, Jodine. If you want to, if there's nothing that you want to highlight in your wildcard video, then you can do, 2 different styles in your 90-second dance portion. But if you want to use that wildcard to show more of that different style of dance, then I would appropriate that time that way.
I like it. If you are in the acting program, would you still be able to audition for musical productions? Brian
Yes.
and Jane are both nodding their heads. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Students can absolutely do that. And then last question right now from Sylvie, does the Common App have to be submitted before we can submit pre-screen materials? That answer is yes. So those do need to be, your Common App needs to be submitted first in order to do that. Same for those of you that are doing the Columbia application, it also has to be submitted first before submitting the pre-screen materials. So that is something that does need to happen. Here is my tip from doing admissions for 12 years of my life. Apply early to just any and all schools that you're interested in. Please don't be the student that waits until the last minute. Get it done early. I always tell students, if you have everything in by Halloween, you should be good to go. That's going to allow you to really meet most of the admission deadlines that you are going to see out there. So the earlier you do it, the better. So let's see here. Are students able to participate in outside of school productions?
Yes.
You can. Yeah, I would highly recommend having conversations with faculty about that before you take a gig, just because we do that and we know the toll it takes on you emotionally, sleep-wise, everything. And so, you don't want to burn classes in a semester, LAS, any kind of class, right? Because it's so expensive to go to school. You don't want to just burn classes by being in a show. So we really want to just have that conversation really, really clearly. Cool. But yeah, you can.
And I've seen plenty of productions around Chicago with Columbia students.
Totally. Yep. Including films and things like that, all sorts of stuff. Yep.
Yep. The BFA website says, for musical theater, says that the dance video can be from 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and that is accurate.
That is accurate. No more than 2 minutes.
No more than 2 minutes, from 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If that's what it says, that's what it says.
And Mason's question for the acting modelers, could we take 2 separate videos and combine them, or do we have to take 1 take? You can, either way, whatever works best for you. So again, it doesn't say on the website. I have no preference, whatever works best for you. If you need to go scene and then begin again.
That would be me.
I sort of love scene. There's something very charming about it. Yeah, either way, it's fine. Whatever works best for you.
Cool. One more question from Abby here. Jermaine, if you want to jump in there.
Yeah, do BFA and BA students have the same chance to get into musical productions? Yes, they have the same chance to get into all of our main stage productions, musical and non-musical.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to take a pause on questions. Those were awesome questions, y'all. Thank you for sending those in. What I do want to do, let's see what else is on this PowerPoint. If there's anything else of value on this one before we go to our next one. I talked about visiting either virtually or on campus when we are able to do on campus again. We are currently doing virtual campus tours. Our open house is the 2nd weekend in November. I think it's like the 14th and 15th, or the 15th and 16th in November. It's something in that time frame. It'll be a full weekend long open house. So that is another great opportunity for you all to join us virtually and be able to learn a little bit more about Columbia. Again, one-on-one chats. Again, colum.edu/visit or /virtual are the best websites for you at this point in time in the process. And then you might want to take a picture of this screen. This is our contact information in the admissions office so that you can reach out to us as you need them. Every student will also be assigned to an admissions representative. That admissions representative works with students from different states, countries, schools, all across the country. And so I've got a team of about 30 folks on my staff, and you will work with one of those 30, and they will be your main contact as you go through the entire application process and the enrollment process here at Columbia College Chicago. So you'll get an email probably actually later on this week or early next week introducing you to who your admissions representative is. So you'll start to be able to build those relationships, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help usher you through the process, answer your questions, help keep you calm as you go through this process. So, so we are super excited to have you all apply for us moving forward. So I am going to switch out the PowerPoint and bring up the musical theater and the acting PowerPoint and allow our friends to go through some of their information to let you know a little bit of the differences, again, between the BA and the BFA programs that we do have here at Columbia. So 1 second here. I will share this again. All righty. And so Brian and Jermaine, I'll let you all take it off. I'll control your the chat over here and also the slides. So
great. Let's go to the next slide. That's our slide of our lovely theater building there. Brian, you want to take this first slide?
Sure. Yeah, so the theater department is a large department. We are about 800 theater students all told. That these are 7 majors and 4 minors. The 3 majors that have the most population are the musical theater, acting, and our comedy, writing, and performance majors. But we also have a theater major with concentrations in directing, stage management, and playwriting. We have tech and design majors, and then minors in stage combat, acting, directing, and playwriting. Yeah, we do have 4 theater spaces, 3 black box spaces, and 1 courtyard space. We do produce, of course, this year is an extraordinary year, so we're still figuring out, but we are still finding ways to produce performance. I'm not going to call it theater because it's not theater. It's mediated theater. We're trying to explore that idea right now of like, how do you mediate theater? We're not trying to be filmmakers. We're still theater makers, but we are using media. We do have international exchange programs, primarily of schools in the UK and Ireland, English-speaking schools. If you are a Spanish speaker, we do have schools in Chile and Peru. And if you're a Korean speaker, strangely enough, there's a school in Seoul, which is an amazing school. Tons of internship opportunities. Chicago is, well, we'll see what happens post-pandemic, but we're assuming that there will still be a strong theater community, please, at the end of this thing. But lots of internship opportunities in theaters with casting agents and all manner of kinds of work to do. And then, yeah, work with theater community professionals from certainly Chicago. We're highly represented among the faculty and staff with professionals, but we also bring in guest artists from Chicago, from New York, from London, from all over the place. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on.
I'm trying to click forward. Okay.
I understand. Oh, I sort of talked about that. So there you go.
There you go. Those are the majors.
Yep. 4 theater spaces. So the large picture is our courtyard space. That's our costume shop. Yeah. Go for it, Jermaine.
Yeah, we have 5 main stage productions in our season that are directed by faculty members or guest directors. We also have 3 new student productions, which are for new students and transfer students, first-year students and transfer students. There's a comedy new stu, there's a musical theater new stu, and an acting new stu. The musical theater new stu will be auditioning, I believe, or this week, I believe they're submitting. Yeah. We have a number of directing projects. Our Playwriting Senior Showcase and our Playwrights Aloud gives other performance opportunities and a really great way to interact with our playwrights, for them to hear their words sort of spoken out loud for the first time. So it's a really important collaborative experience for both our performing students and our directing and playwriting students. And there are some production photos for your enjoyment.
For your viewing pleasure.
Your viewing pleasure.
BFA acting.
Yeah, so yeah, we do. As I said, we have exchange programs, which is a slightly different way from some international study abroad is with outside providers. What we do is we build partnerships with schools. So we have partnerships with 5, 6 different schools, and then we exchange students back and forth between those 2 schools. So you get to spend a semester, for example, at the drama conservatory at the Technical University Dublin. Actually, it's a lovely drama conservatory, but you drop right into that program. You're in with a bunch of Irish kids. You're working with their faculty in their curriculum, living in Dublin, and we take students from there here. We do the same thing with schools, as I said, in mostly in the UK. Actually, this semester, because we're in the land of COVID, I've actually been working with those partners and setting up exchange programs through the land of Zoom. So we're working with each other in Zoom because we know those people well. I've directed at most of those schools. We've had some of those people directing here. So there's a really lovely, we care for each other through those programs. It's great. Yeah, versatile courses for industry preparation, absolutely. Professional survival and how to audition, on-camera classes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, master classes. We run a J-term course in LA, not this year, but we will again. And of course, this cohort sequencing, you'll work with a cohort through your program. We do work directly with the Cinema Arts and TV department. And so up to 300 students per semester collaborate on student films with the Cinema Arts department. So I just was setting that up. This week, I'm teaching an on-camera class, and our students are shooting short films starting next week in a very carefully COVID-designed space. But you will absolutely do on-camera work as part of the BFA in acting, for sure.
There is one question that's related to this, Brian, about the exchange program. Could students still do exchange programs as a BA student?
Yes, you actually can. Yep, for sure. We want you to go abroad. It's great.
Yes, it is great for sure. And then for both of you, I think this is a timely question too. When you say that you only take 12 to 16 students, 12 to 14 students, is that only new students, or is that also including returning students in that process for them?
Oh, no, that's new students. That's incoming students for first year. Yeah.
Yes.
Great question, Mason. Thanks for asking that. All right, let's move forward.
It is important to note, though, and maybe this is the time to sort of mention it, is that there is an opportunity to audition for the BFA in musical theater performance once you are a BA. And in acting, yes. Yeah. So in the spring semester of your first year, you may still audition for the BFA in musical theater performance and in acting. So there is an additional opportunity for you to audition if you do decide to come here in your first semester, in the fall semester. If you enter as a BA, there is an opportunity to audition for the BFA program, either for the first time or again.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that a little bit earlier as well. Yep.
Cool. So yeah, those are our programs that we work with around the world. They're all really great schools, really, and really creating interesting work. We've chosen schools that sort of match with the Columbia ethos of author the culture of your time. So we're not working in England with like Lambda or RADA or BADA, which are great schools, but you're not, Judi Dench is not going to show up and sort of like bless you with her presence. I sort of wish she would, but she doesn't. So it's really about making new work for now. At all of these schools, so they're kind of cutting edge actually, which is really interesting. But yeah, you go all over the place.
Oh, this is me.
That's you, Jermaine.
BFA, musical theater performance. We do offer pre-professional training in all the disciplines. So you will be taking courses in dance, musical theater dance, tap, voice lessons, acting, audition preparation, professional survival. So in all disciplines, you'll be taking classes every semester, starting in fact with your first year, where you take our foundational courses, which is a dance class, a voice class, and a music theater foundations class. So immediately upon arrival, you are involved in the training in the program. The BFA in Musical Theater Performance has a year-long capstone course called Musical Theater Workshop 1 and 2. That is a year-long course that where you do large production numbers, you do stretch scenes, which ask you to work on characters or roles outside of your comfort zone. There are also dance-focused scenes that will stretch your dance abilities. There's a cabaret unit that is a part of that, the spring semester of that workshop that encourages you to develop and express yourself as an independent artist and to take away a little bit of the fourth wall. And that capstone course also prepares the BFA Musical Theater Performance students for their senior showcase. As you can see on the bottom, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but our BFA Musical Theater Performance students are guaranteed participation in senior showcase. And beginning this year, we are offering an opportunity for BA students in musical theater to audition to participate in senior showcase. The Specialized Advanced Audition Techniques for Musical Theater course is one of the really great perks of the Musical Theater Performance BFA. We also have master classes. This year we are having 2 dance classes, one with James T. Lane, who's recently in the revival of Kiss Me Kate on Broadway. Lamont Brown is teaching an advanced tap class, and Sherry Sanders is working with our students. Sherry is the proponent of Rock the Audition and looking at pop rock music through a pedagogical and historical lens, and is one of the leaders in that field. Amy Ewell, one of our colleagues, leads a New York experience where she takes a number of students to New York, or has been taking students to New York, to see shows, to take master classes, to take voice lessons, to go to Steps on Broadway, where she used to teach classes. So it's a really great experience that our students do, usually over spring break. And I did mention the guaranteed participation in Senior Showcase for the BFA Musical Theater Performance majors. Oh, here's some alumni.
We have 2 alumni working on Saturday Night Live right now. So A.D. Bryant is a performer, but Jeremy Byler is in the writer's room. I think we must be the only school in the country that actually has 2 alums working on SNL. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, lots of interesting people doing kind of really astonishing stuff, and at major venues, as well as teaching artists in the city of Chicago, and people who are creating brand new work in all sorts of ways. So running theater companies in the city of Chicago, or in weirdly enough in like Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in New Mexico. Like it's kind of great.
Azad used to work for us in admissions. He was in the admissions office. It's like an admissions representative, and then he's on How to Get Away with Murder. So
yeah,
that's our little connection there. All right. I can't find how to move forward again. I've lost my mouse.
That's okay. There you are.
Oh, there's some more people.
Yeah, some more recent alumni there from musical theater area. Chantel performing locally and making a great name for herself. Mallory Medkey was in the Broadway company of 6. Harder Klingman's done some really great national tour work in addition to the Paramount out in Aurora. And Marvin Malone also done some really great regional work as well.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that is the presentation itself, and there are questions here, and we've got 10, 15-ish minutes, so let's get through some more questions here. So are there any differences between the classes that BFA students take and BA students take? I know, Emilio, you kind of indicated acting, but I would love for both Jermaine and Brian to maybe talk about both of the programs.
Sure. Yes and no, no and yes. So in many ways, the BFA students and the BA students largely work together, which is one of the reasons why, doing the BA, there is no, you're still working with the same great faculty, you're still with the same right cadre of students, et cetera. You're still doing the same work with the same expectations. With the BFA, the curriculum, as Derek has pointed out, is thicker. There's just more of it. So you're working and doing more connective work between voice and movement and acting and interpretation and cultural work in theater as well. Like, again, one of the important things with the BFA in acting is that you're really thinking about how theater works as a cultural artistic force. And so we do, like, we're running courses this semester, for example, in queer theater. We'll be running courses in Latinx theater, African-American theater, feminist theater, et cetera, to really start to open up the canon a little bit and open up the possibilities of and what identity is for the performer, what representation is, what ethics are around that, and how they're changing, and which is great. We're in some lovely brand new territory, which has been a long time coming, and it's thankfully here right now. So that's great. And then in the senior year, just like there's a capstone BFA musical theater program, there's a year-long capstone BFA acting course, which is for BFA students only, where you're really working with your cohort to create material. So yeah, in some instances, you're very much mixed with the BA, and in others, there is some separation. Cool.
Yeah, Jermaine, any insight on the musical theater side of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. There's as the BFA acting, I mean, in that there's just more of it in the BFA musical theater. You take more dance classes, you take more voice lessons. Advanced audition techniques for musical theater is required of the BFA and the capstone course as well. So there's just more density and saturation. There's another upper level acting class for the BFA acting students that the BAs don't have to take.
Right.
Private voice for all 4 years. What's kind of the voice stuff?
You can take private voice lessons all 4 years. Well, you can take private voice lessons all 4 years except for the first semester of your first year. First semester, first year is a group voice class. Thereafter, you may take private lessons for all 4 years if you want to, but if I'm remembering correctly, it's 8 credits of voice for the BFA and 4 credits of voice for the BA that are required. So anything in excess of that you can take, but those are the requirements. And are freshmen allowed to participate in performances the first year? First year students, yes, first year students are allowed to participate in performances the first year. The only thing is that the fall main stage shows are cast the semester before. So first year students would not be able to participate in the fall main stage shows, but the directing series, the new stews, the playwriting projects, all of those would be available to first year students immediately.
Right. Can acting students still take musical theater? Can acting students take voice lessons classes? Kind of no, because there are some music prerequisites for the music lessons specifically. But can you take musical theater classes? There are, again, some there's like musical theater voice, which is not private lessons. It is a musical theater voice class for a class. You can take that. You can definitely take musical theater dance courses. So yes, you can take some musical theater courses as an acting major, but not private lessons.
And I think the other thing I continue to let students know, remember the difference between BA and BFA, right? With BA, you do have a little bit more of that flexibility,
right,
to do some of those kind of things, where the BFA, you may not have as much flexibility as you have on the BA side. So again, for some of you that are really thinking, man, I really want to do it all, I continue to encourage you to think about the BA track. Continue to think about the BA track as being something that might be good if you really want to do a lot of different things while you're at Columbia.
And as an acting major, can you audition for musical theater? Yes.
And the other way around, musical theater students can absolutely should audition for acting.
Yep. For transfer students that have already spent a year or two at college, will the BFA lead to an extra 4 years of school? No. We would want to have a pretty detailed conversation as you were coming in about, do you have all your liberal arts and sciences complete that are required by Columbia? Like, we'd have to be really specific about that coming in, but we brought in 2 transfer students into the BFA in acting this year. One of them will be done in 4 semesters, but they were coming from a BFA program, and so had quite a lot of the acting work done, and actually need to catch up on a lot of liberal arts and sciences. The other student is coming in as a second-year student and has quite a bit of liberal arts and sciences done, but will be able to catch up on all the performance classes within the BFA easily. We'll graduate her in 6 semesters.
And I'd always share with students too, if you're a transfer student, especially important for you to work with your admissions representative, because we can help you kind of track out what you've done thus far and give you some sort of understanding of what the time to completion you might actually have left. So if you are a transfer student and you're working through that, feel free to stay in contact with us so we can kind of walk you a little bit more closely through that process, because it'll be just a little bit different for you. So.
Absolutely.
For BA applicants, you don't have to submit a pre-screen, correct? That is correct. You do not have to submit a pre-screen or any materials for the BA program if you are going to apply for that program on your application. But then how are you considered for the Faculty Recognition Award? You submit a portfolio, right? So when we talked about some of those like pre-screening videos for the BFA program, you would also do basically similar videos if you were a BA student who wanted to apply for the Faculty Recognition Award. So again, that Faculty Recognition Award website, colum.edu/FRA, that will let you know exactly what you need to upload as a part of your portfolio to be considered for that Faculty Recognition Award. Okay, so make sure that you visit our website so that you have all of the details of what we're looking for if you're going to apply for the BA program. Audrey, do you do dance placements or is it level based on year?
We do dance placements, and that is based on your pre-screen and or your portfolio for the Faculty Recognition Award.
Excellent. Can credits transfer from a community college for a business minor if I wanted to get a BFA but add on a business minor? Technically, yes. So if you have credits from a community college or another four-year institution, and as long as you have earned a C or higher in those credits, we will take those credits here at Columbia. Now, the challenge is that we're going to look at those credits and we're going to figure out how that then fits into what program it is that you want to do as you move forward throughout your career. So it's another one of those situations similar to what we said with our transfer students, to maybe keep in contact with us so we can help you try to figure out what credits are going to transfer to Columbia and how they're going to transfer to Columbia. We do have students that will go into a BFA program and maybe they come in with a decent amount of college credits from dual enrollment that you might have done in high school and that kind of thing. That is totally okay. And that does help you kind of open up a little bit of your schedule to allow for some other coursework that you might need. So it is something that we will work with, but it is much more of a kind of one-on-one individualized conversation that's probably best to have, okay? If you are a transfer student, when can you start working with your admissions representative? You can start working with them whenever you want. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. It is colum.edu/admissions. When you go to our colum.edu/admissions website and you click in on the state in which that you are coming from, it will take you to a list of who your admissions representative is. Okay, so you can start working with us as soon as you like in order to figure out what's going to transfer in, how it's going to transfer in, and to give you some sort of sense of time to completion. So great question. From Allie, are you able to receive the Faculty Recognition Award for all majors, or is it just for musical theater and acting? That's a great question, Allie. And the Faculty Recognition is for any and all majors here at the college. So if a student is looking into any of our BA programs, there is a portfolio requirement that we would have for every single one of those BA programs for you to be able to submit materials to be considered for a faculty rec. If on the other end, you apply for the BFA programs, regardless if it's acting, musical theater performance, film and TV, any of our BFA programs, that portfolio submission, again, is required and you are automatically considered for the faculty recognition in regards to that. So great, great, great question. Let's see here, from Vanessa, this is a good one for acting. For auditions into the acting BFA program, are there restrictions on language or explicit content within monologues? Brian?
I have so many answers to that. But yes, yeah, for sure. You might shock me.
Jermaine, what, like when you're in, like, you know, if a student submitted stuff with language or explicit content for here? How would you all feel about that? Musical theater.
Oh gosh, no. Well, I think the thing to think about is why are you telling that story, that monologue in that moment at this time? And if you can answer that question for yourself, then go for it.
Yep.
We push the envelope at Columbia.
Yeah.
So, you're probably okay. Elizabeth, the Columbia Connect portal says submissions for the portfolio pre-screen aren't open yet. Do they open October 1? We'll let you know when they open. Today's the 23rd. My team was working on getting that built out this week, probably at some point next week.
Maybe.
You'll know when it's open.
Eric doesn't quite have the answer to that question, but that's so rare. I love it.
We will send you an email when it's open. You will definitely know when it's open. It is about 5 after 8. We are done at least with the questions here. I just want to see if there's any other last minute questions, comments, concerns, anything that anyone wants to find out about today. One of the things about this particular session, we did record this session. So for any of you that want to go back and rewatch it over and over and over and over again, you are more than happy to do that. We'll make sure that that's posted out for folks as well. So know that that's a thing. From Tommy, do we have to wait to start working with the admissions team until after we receive word on acceptance? Nope. We start working with students as early as their freshman year in high school. So you can work with us as early as possible. We have some students who are, for example, transfer students or students who are maybe even in high school that know they're going to go to a 2-year college first, just to maybe save some money. We work with those students too, to work through the process. So yeah, we'll work with you as early as we can. Brian, Jermaine, any last words of wisdom and encouragement for folks? Anything else you want to say about the difference between BA and BFA? And
the only thing I would say would be vote. There's an election coming up. Please do that. Thank you. And yeah, so I'm good. Thank you for being here. It's really lovely to see people interested in continuing. We're in a strange time, and I know you're going through a weird educational thing. So are we. So we keep working it out. We keep trying to figure it out. So thank you for wanting to progress.
For sure. Jermaine, anything you want to share?
I just want to share sort of briefly and lastly that one of the really wonderful things I think that separates Columbia College Chicago apart from other institutions is the fact that we as a faculty and a staff are very connected in our various artistic communities and our artistic homes, but none of that work takes us outside of the institution for terribly long. So as you're looking at other schools, think about and ask about the balance between their professors being on campus and off. One of the really great examples I have from last year, or whatever time was when Heather Gilbert, our lighting design professor, was designing her show in New York that was nominated for a Drama Desk Award.
She won a Drama Desk Award.
Oh my God,
won
that's right.
a Drama Desk Award.
On the Drama Desk.
It's kind of a big deal.
She's a big deal, you guys. But one of the really great things is that from Studio 54, she was zooming in and signing in for class, right? That although we're all doing our separate things, everyone is still in the classroom. And so it's one of the things that really separates this institution, I think, from lots of others. So be thinking about that as you're contemplating the kinds of schools that you're looking at, and ask questions about that from those other institutions. It's something that sets us apart.
Yeah, and Sylvie, thank you for noticing that we all wore plaid. We of course commented on it immediately. Derek made me put my glasses on.
I did.
So I'm taking them off now.
This meeting was brought to you by Old Navy.
It's so true. Right. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Again, keep in contact with us. We look forward to all of your applications for admission. Again, we are so excited that you are considering us as your school of choice as you kind of move forward in your academic career. And please don't hesitate to let us know if there's anything that we can do for you as you go through the process. But otherwise, we're going to let y'all go. Go eat dinner, go chill out, do your thing, and we will see you all soon. Okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.